Okay. Well, so last day we just been completed up talking about three filters already. What are the three? Child action only, output cache, and validate input. Validate input. Okay, these are the three filters what we already completed our discussion. The next one is validate anti-forgery token. So what is this validate anti-forgery token? Okay, so let me explain you. I want to create a form. For inserting a record into our employee table. I want to create a form for inserting a record into our employee table. Means then you require to first write one get method, one post method, and create a view for it now. Right? So let us write a get and post methods for inserting a record into the employee. Okay, have a look, guys. Add employee launches the view. Add employee, we are passing employee as a parameter and we are inserting the record into the table. Nothing new. Okay, get and post method. First, let us create a view now. Okay, right click, add view. MVC 5 view. Empty employee add. So employee, what are the columns? Employee ID, name, job, salary. Okay, 6 column department ID. Like we have just set a set of columns there. And remember, guys, in this process, employee ID is auto generation. So I have fields only for 4 because status is also status, not auto generation, but coming to status as a default value. So here I just added you some text boxes for assigning values to name, job, salary, and department ID. Okay. Name, job, salary, department ID. Simple. So run. How many records are there in our table? Select star from employee. Last class, we have just inserted, guys. 25 records are in the table. We have 25 records in the table. Okay. Now I want to enter a new record. Some name, job, salary, some salary value. Some 3,200. Department ID, sales department is 20. Okay, 20. Okay, I entered all the details and clicking on the save button. Nothing new in this, guys. It's a normal form. That's all. Record inserted. I did not do anything newly here. Now you have 26 records. Now you have the 26 records in this. Okay, fine. Now the user was able to insert the record. Now see, I'm the end user. And this is a form in one company's website. For inserting or adding a new employee. Are you getting me? Yes or not? This is a form in a company's website for adding a new employee. So user can enter the values. But what did I do? I'm an end user. That's all. I'm just an end user. As end user, I went into view page source, copied the whole content, what is present inside of the form tag. Only the form tag, the complete form tag I'm copying. Okay. Form tag. I'm creating a new text document. We'll name it as emp.html. Just created a small text document, emp.html. And I'm pasting the form code here. Okay, I'm pasting the form code. And before that, the domain of the site. You have a domain, every company has a domain, the domain of the site. What is the domain? Right now we are working on the local computer. So it is HTTP localhost, some port number. Just run this, guys. When you run this, you will get the URL in the address bar, the same thing only. Yeah, I even copied the URL. Is that clear, guys? What did I do? I copied from that page. I copied the content from the page. I just put it over here. Okay. So this is a local file. What I created. This is a local file. What I created. Just a local file. Did you understand me? Now, if at all I want to insert a record into the employee table, actually, what is the process? You're required to open the company website. And from the company website, you're required to enter the details and save it in the table. Am I right or not? But see, guys, I created a local file now. Yes or not? Let me run this now. Let me run this in a browser. Okay. Entering a new record. And once again, I'm telling you, this is my local copy. This is my local copy. You can see the path of it also. Are you getting me? It's only a local copy. And now I click on the save. The record is inserted, see? How is it valid? Tomorrow, what I'll do, I will open the Facebook website now. Facebook login page is there now. I'll go to view source. I'll copy that. I will put into my Naresheti website now. And from Naresheti, I'll say you can log into Facebook now. Valid, huh? Like this, I'll attach you a login page of SBA website now. So you can log in into SBA website from Naresheti now. So tomorrow you enter the details and all. Naresheti will copy automatically your user credentials now. And later on, I can log in with your credentials into your site. Understood? This is also a type of hacking only. All these problems, yesterday we talked about one problem, CSS attack. Are you clear? This is called as anti-forgery attack. This is a forgery attack. This is called as a forgery attack. What is that? I am copying your page and I'm putting it to my website now. Got the point or not? I copied it and putting it to my website. See, I created a local copy of the page here. I created a local copy of the page here. And running this, I'm able to insert records into employee table. Tomorrow, I'll get a page like this and say, are you using this page? You can perform a transaction on SPI. Did you get me? This is going to be very, very dangerous and problematic. This is going to be dangerous and problematic. How to restrict this? How can I restrict this operation? So guys, if you want to restrict this, how do you restrict this? I'll tell you. First, delete this page. Delete the local copy first. Delete the local copy. How to restrict this? I'll tell you. One, in your page, in the view what you are creating, on the top of it, add a statement here, @HTML dot anti-forgery token. @HTML dot anti-forgery token. Are you clear? Now going to the controller, post action method, here also I'll put a comma and I say and validate anti-forgery token. What is this? When I use this, this is going to generate you one unique token value. It is going to generate you one unique token value. Are you clearer or not? What it generates you? A unique token value. And the token value will be present on the page, as well as the token value will be present in the form of a in-memory cookie under the browser. Two places it will be present. What are the two places? One is on the page. When you run this, on the page, you will have the token value. Watch. This is the page. Add employee page is launching. If you go to view page source, if you go to the view page source, and here you have form tag, and here we have an input tag. See, input name is equals to first type is equals to hidden field, and a hidden field there is a value. There is a value. See, a big value. This is called as a token. This is called as a token. This value is not present only in the hidden field. This value is also present in the browser's address space in the form of a in-memory cookie. Did you catch my point or not? How many places it is present? Two places. One is on the page, we are having it in the form of a hidden field. Second one, it is in the memory in the form of a cookie now. Now, when I click on this submit button, when I click on the save button, the control comes to where? The control comes to the post action method. Am I right? What did you write here? Validate the token. I'm telling now. Validate the token. So what it will do? It will read the value from the cookie. It will read the value in the page. Both these two things are read now and compares. If both are matching, your request is correct request. Your request is a valid request. If both these two are not matching, this request is an invalid request now. Did you understand my point or not? If both these two are matching, this request is a valid request. See now, see, I'm running this one. On this, I have a token value on the page now. And also I have the token value in my cookie also. I have the token value in my cookie also. Now on the cookie, both the two values are read now. Both will be matching now. Insert operation works. But suppose if anyone is going to copy this content, same like previous example, again, I'm copying the form. Again, I'm copying the form, guys. Okay. And I will create a file, new text document, emp.html is the page I'm creating. Open, pasting the content. You're pasting the content. See now, the input value, the token value is also present here now. Yes or not? The token value is also present here. Okay. Now what did you do? You're opening this in a browser. Now tell me, do you have a token value or not? But your token value is not present in cookie. Where is cookie? You don't have a cookie now. What do you have? Only hidden field is there, but cookie is not there now. So if I try to submit the data to server will not accept the data. Why it won't accept the data? It will compare both. Cookie is missing. Cookie is missing means your request is a forgery. Your request is a forgery request now. That is not going to be accepted. See there, something I'm entering XYZ. Salesman. 2320. Click on the save. Oh, sorry. That's not the mistake. No, guys. That's not the mistake. Actually, the mistake is we did not put the URL correctly there. When we copy pasted, the URL in that is wrong. This URL is not correct. That is error. What is the URL? HTTP localhost. That is the complete URL should be there. Okay, that is a mistake. Open with a Google Chrome. Entering some record XYZ salesman 3220. Click on the save. What is not present? Cookie. See there, cookie is not present. Are you clear? So cookie is not going to be present here. Because the cookie is not present here, your request is going to be a forgery request. Your request is not accepted in this context and it is not allowing you to perform a insert operation. But see guys, this browser, look at this browser. This browser is directly, means this request directly came from the server. So cookie will be present here now. Are you getting me? So I want to enter a new record. I want to enter a new record. So salesman, 3,000, 2,300 or 3,200 something. Okay, 20 and click on the save. This worked, but did not work here. Understood all of you? What do you call it as? Anti-forgery key. Anti-forgery key. So how do you use it? Two places we're required to write it. One, on the view, you're required to call this method. What is that? Anti-forgery token. What will this do? This method will generate you a token value and puts it in the form and also puts it in the cookie. What cookie? Persistent in-memory cookie. In-memory cookie. Now, when you click on the submit button, what did you write here? Validate that value. I'm telling to validate the value. What will you check now? The value present in the hidden field, the value present in the cookie are matching or not. Value is present in the hidden field, but not in the cookie. It's a forgery. Value present in the cookie, not present in the hidden field. It's a forgery. Value present in both the places, but not matching. It's a forgery. Value present in both the two places, but matching. That's a correct request. That is a valid request. And now it is going to enable or call you the action method add employee. Now tell me, what filter is it? What filter? Action filter. Before or after? Confidently here. Why you whisper in your mouth here? Confidence. When will you get the confidence? 6 months over already for you, and still you're not getting a confidence in yourself first. Confidently. It's going to be an action filter before. And if the filter satisfies only, action method executes now. Understood me? Okay. So that's what's a before filter, and that too an action filter. Got the point? Okay. So this is how we use the validate anti-forgery token. So have a look. There's a built-in functionality provided by which developers often use in their application for security purpose. That is to stop CSRF. What is that? Cross-site request forgery. We call it as a cross-site request forgery from hackers. Cross-site request forgery can be defined as a forgery request. That is a fraud or fake request which comes on an authenticated site from a cross site and is treated it as an authenticated request. For avoiding this situation, Microsoft provides a validate anti-forgery token facility, which we can use in our application so that no one can hack our site or invade some critical information. Invading means conquering. It is just going to be conquering. See, in the history in the school days, we learned. What is that? The British invaded our country. The British invaded our country. What they done? They came and stole all the things from the country now. Okay. Like this, someone can invade your information. They can come and steal all your valuable information. Are you clear? Okay. So two places you're required to write it. One, in the view, what you should write? @HTML.anti. What will that do? That method will generate you a token value in two places. One, on the page in the form of a hidden field. Two, in-memory cookie, both the two places. So now when the request comes, the value should be present in both the two places. Valid request. Value not present or properly not matching. Forgery request. That's a forgery request. Okay. Next. Handle error. Handle error. What is handle error? This is a mechanism using which we can handle exceptions in your code now. Exceptions in your code now. This is an exception filter. This is an exception filter to handle errors in ASP.NET MVC, which can be applied over the action method as well as controller. You can apply it over the action method also. You can apply it over the controller. Last class I said, we can use it either in the controller level. Controller level means applies to all the action methods. Second option, action method level applies only to one action method. As well as you can use it global also. What is global, sir? Global in the sense, see, suppose I have a controller with 10 action methods. I have a controller with 10 action methods. I want to use a handle error on all the 10. So writing 10 times on the top of each action method is better. Writing on the top of the controller class is better. Louder. On the top of the controller class. I have 10 controllers in my code now. I have 10 controllers. In all the 10 controllers, I want handle error now. Now you're required to write 10 times on the top of each controller now. Without that, you can use it global. Global in the sense, you can use it in the global.asx, so that it applies to all, the whole application applies. It applies to the whole application. That is called as global level. Action method, controller, or at a global level. The handle error attribute, the handle error filter has a set of properties that are very useful in handling the exception. This comes under which filter, guys? Exception filter. This is an exception filter. Okay. Before or after? Before or after? After. Before exception, how do you know exception will come now? After. It's an after filter. That too, exception filter. And these are the attributes: exception type, view, master, order, allow multiple. Like this, we just have a different set of attributes that are available for you on this. Okay. So let me tell you how to use this exception filter in your code. Guys, I want to write two methods here. What are the two methods? I think, guys, I want to create a view for taking two numbers from the user, divide the two numbers and divide the two numbers. So I want a get and post method. One is to launch the view. One is to divide the numbers. Okay. One method for get and one method for post. Watch, guys. Divide nums. Post. And don't forget, num1, num2 are going to be the text box names. These two are going to be our text box names now. Come on, let's create a view. Right click, add view. Okay. So you can see the name of the text boxes are num1, num2. Num1 and num2 are the names of the text boxes. So now run this. I'm entering my first number as 100. My second number as 5. Click on the divide. Everything is perfect. Yes or not? Now I'm entering 100. I'm entering 0. You know that you cannot divide a number by 0. So when you click on the divide, attempted to divide by 0 and displaying you some code on this one. Okay. Same way I'm trying to give a character value. It's a foreign exception what we'll be getting, some content on this. I'm trying to give a value bigger than the integer. It's going to be an overflow exception, which is not going to be accepting the appropriate value. Are you getting me? All these three cases, we got an error. In all these three things, what I entered, we got an error. And whenever you get an error, what happens? It will display you an yellow screen whenever there is a runtime error in the code. Whenever there is a runtime error in the code, it will display you an yellow screen. We call this as a yellow screen. It displays you an yellow screen. And the yellow screen will be showing you 5 lines of code. It will be showing you 5 lines of code. 2 before the error statement, 2 after the error statement. So this is the statement where the error came now. 2 lines before the error, 77, 78. 2 lines after the error, 80, 81. Are you clear? But this is dangerous. Why, sir? Today, it is just a small action method which doesn't have any severe logic in it. But tomorrow, in the above 2 lines of code, I'm writing some sensitive data. I'm writing the user ID and password for some database. I'm writing the user ID and password for some database. And when the data is shown on the screen now, the user comes to know the user ID and password or not. So tomorrow there can be some sensitive information over there. And if you show that sensitive information to user, tomorrow someone can easily gather the details now. Let's say user ID, password present on the top. You captured that and afterwards you can use these credentials and log in into the database or do some manipulations now. I'm talking with you only here. I'm losing interest with you. I'm losing the interest. Seriously, I'm telling you. I'm telling real-time scenarios to you and you put blank faces. Understood? Be active, man. Always 24/7. You're lazy only. Morning, 11 o'clock also you'll be sleeping in the classroom. Evening also you'll be sleeping. Morning, early morning also you'll be sleeping. Every time sleeping face only. Be active first. Okay? So what is that? Tomorrow, if there is a sensitive information over there, someone can easily know the data and suppose that information is about the database server name, user ID, password. I can easily log in into your database and I can manipulate the data in the database now. That is a serious issue. That's why we call this yellow screen as yellow screen of death. Yellow screen of death. Got the point? So we call this screen as a yellow screen of death. So this should not be shown to the users for various reasons. It should not be shown to the users for various reasons. For various reasons, this should not be shown to the user. Sensitive data will be visible to user. Understood me? And if at all you want to overcome this particular problem, in the real-time environment, you won't see these type of screens, guys. If there is an error, without showing the yellow screens like this, what will they do? They will show you an error page. They'll show you an error page telling you there is some problem in the site. There is some problem in the site. Our team is looking into it. Please try after some time. Please try after some time. Like this, they'll try to disclose you some pages like this, but they won't show you the yellow screens. Tomorrow, if I show the yellow screen also, what do the use tell me? What will user understand now? Did you catch my point or not? The user will not even understand the problem correctly now. Then there is no point of displaying this type of yellow screens to the user. But that's what I'm telling you. This is showing this yellow screen is very, very dangerous. What we call? We call it as a yellow screen of death. Understood my point or not? Okay. So to overcome this particular problem means I want to hide the yellow screen now. I want to hide the yellow screen. I don't want the yellow screen to be displayed here. Then do one thing. What you know? First, in your project, under the views within the shared folder, add one page. Add one page. What is that error page? Whenever there is an error, that page has to be launched. Okay. Where shared folder? Why shared folder, sir? Because This is common for all the errors in the code now. So that should be in the shared folder. So right click on the shared folder, add a view. Let's name it as error.cshtml. Error.cshtml. Just creating a view now. Are you clear? Okay, just a view is created. Okay, now in this particular view, I am writing some content. What did I write? H1. Some styling afterwards. Next, H3. An error occur while processing your request. Recheck your input or contact customer support. Either recheck the input what you are given or otherwise contact the customer support. And below that, you will give the customer support phone numbers, email IDs to contact, and all the details will be provided below. So this screen should be launched. Are you clear? So what is the first step? Create a page. Better name it as error.cshtml. Step 2. What is step 2? The step 2 is you require to go to the web.config file and under system.web. Yesterday we written this caching, you remember? Yeah, we have another attribute called as custom errors. What is it? Custom errors. Mode is equals to on. There are three options here, guys. On, off, remote only. I'll tell you what is it. Custom errors. Mode is equals to on. Redirect. Mode is equals to on. Custom errors. Mode is equals to on. That's it. Okay. Write this. Third step. Now, what is the third step? On the third step, on the top of the, just a minute. Let me close all the unwanted files here. On the top of the post action method, write down what? Handle error. I'm using the handle error. When I use this handle error attribute, user is asking to handle the error. So now it checks in the web.config file. What it checks is the custom errors mode is on or not. The custom errors mode is on or not. Yes, the custom error mode is on. So immediately what it will do, it will go to the shared folder, picks the error page and automatically has to display you that error page. Are you clearer or not? Okay, it is just going to redirect you to that particular page. So observe all of you. Oh, I closed off this divide page, divide nums. Run, guys. We'll have a doubt here. What the doubt is, sir? Should I name it as error.cshtml for sure? Should I name it as error.html for sure? That's a big doubt what you may have in your mind. Okay. So I'll tell you guys 100, 0. Click on the divide button. Got it? Yes or not? So what is your question? Should I specify it as error.html? Yes, it should be. Why? You did not specify that file name anywhere. You noticed it? Even in web.config also, I did not specify that. Or even in the handle error attribute also, I did not specify the name. Understood? See, when there is an error, what will happen? The handle error attribute verifies. What it verifies? In the web.config, is the custom error mode is on or off? It is on. It is on. Then it will come to shared folder and checks for the page with the name called error.cshtml and automatically displays that error page to you. Understood or not? Are you clearer? Okay. So now, anywhere you get an error, it will automatically come here now. Anywhere you get an error, it will automatically come here for you in this case now. See there. Whenever there is an error, you're redirected to that location. Got my point? This is called as handle error. Okay, fine. Now, see, what's the first thing you're required to do? Create a page. Second step, Web.config customer error mode on. Third step, on the top of the method, you write. If you get any internal server error in divide nums method, it will automatically redirect to error.css table. Okay, now guys, I'll show you one more scenario to you. What is that? Here, I will add a new method. What the new method is? Public view result show view. Public view result show view. Now, I'm not adding a view to it. I'm not adding a view to it. Then view engine error will come. Yes or not? What you get is a view engine error. If the method is not there at all, you're trying to call a method is not there. 404 error. 404 error, correct? Once I'm putting this method in the comment, I'm putting the method in the comment. Home controller. What is the method name? Show view. .404 error. Yes or not? What you get is a 404 error. Why? The method is not present. The method is not present. Okay. What's our current divide nums? Divide nums open. But when I call show view 404 error. Okay, now? Now, see, watch it. Now, the method is there, but view is not there. The method is there, but view is not there. Then what will happen? Show view. Runtime error now also. It's a runtime error. You're getting a runtime error in this particular case. Okay. But you did not get the error page. Why, sir? Why you did not get the error page? Because they did not write handle error on the top of it now. Handle error. I'm writing a handle error. Are you getting me? Guys, you understood one thing? This is engine error. Engine error means server error. Array. Engine error means the error came in the server. Now, observe, when I call this method, home, show view, error page came now. Array, handling the error now. But guys, I'm calling show view 1. Is it existing? Is the method existing? Method is not existing. What will happen? Is it going to give me the error page now? Will it give the error page? No. Why, sir? Because the method is existing. On the top of the method, you write handle error. Now you don't have a handle error where to write. The method itself is not there. So when I run this, 404 error will come now. Basically, errors are two types here. Client errors, server errors. What are client errors? All the errors with the status code 4XX series. All the errors with the status code 4XX series is a client error. 400, 401, 402, 403, 404, 405. You already gone through this particular thing earlier. And all the errors that comes under 5XX series are server errors. What are they? Server errors. Server errors means the mistake is not of the user. The mistake is not of the user. User mistake is not there. The method is there, called as a show view. But you did not create the view. That is not user mistake. Yes or not? Array, method is there. View is not there. User mistake, huh? They're not user mistake. User know there's a method called it, but view is missing there. So that is a server error. The method is not there. User is trying to give some wrong name. That is user mistake only. That's what? Client error. Understood? User mistakes are called client errors. Server mistakes are called server errors. Right now, we are able to handle what? Server errors, not the client errors. Right now, we are able to handle the server errors, but not the Client error. Client errors are not getting handled here now. Understood my point or not? So how do I handle the client errors now? If I have a 400 error, I want to display a page to a user. If I had a 401 error, I want to display a page to the user. I want to display either one common page for all the client errors or a separate page for each client error. Did you get my point or not? Choice is yours, I'm telling you. Choice is yours. Either a common page for all the client errors. Second option, a separate page for each error. Anything you can just do. Understood my point here? So how to handle a client error now? How to handle a client error? If you want to handle a client error, you're required to specify that in the web.config file, guys. You're required to specify that in the web.config file. How? You come to the web.config, you written customer mode is equals to on. Just a minute, on. And here, inside of it, you should write error. Okay. Status code is equals to, what is that? Status code is equals to 400. Redirect is equals to the name of the page. Redirect is equals to the name of the view. The name of the view. Okay. Suppose I'm writing now 401, 402, 403, 404, 405. I want the same view for all. Specify the same name for all now. I want a different view for all. Specify a different name for each now. Yes or not? But tell me one thing. Can you launch it? Can you call a view directly in MVC? Yeah? For every view, there should be a action method. For every action method, there should be a controller. Yes or not? What you require to do now is, you're required to define one controller, and in the controller, you're required to define the action methods, and the action method name should be listed here. So whenever that error comes, it will call that action method. That action method will launch you the corresponding view to you. Is it clear? For example, come to your project and add a new controller in the project, guys. I'll name the controller as error controller. Any name your choice. What is the name? Error controller. Now, inside of the error controller, write a separate method for each status code now. Are you clear? Generally, if you get a 400 error, what is that? Bad request. 401, 402, 403. And what is 401, guys? 400? Write a method with the same name only. Public view result bad request. Bad request. Okay. Return. Now add a view for that now. Add a view for that now. Like this, we want for $401. $401 means unauthorized. I'm naming the method as unauthorized. $402, payment required. $403, forbidden. $404, not found. So this name should be same or anything of my choice, Daddy. Your choice, yeah. Whatever name you want to give it. If you want to give the name as status code 400, status code 401, status code 402, like that also you can give your names. Did you get my point? Okay. So the names what I used are the standard names. Standard names in the sense HTTP status codes. Go to HTTP status codes. If you go to HTTP status codes and check, now you get the client errors. If you get the client errors, see there, 400, 401, 402, payment record, forbidden, not found, method not allowed. Suppose you want for 405 now. Let me name it as method not allowed. Method not allowed. Are you clear? And right now, what you will do, you come back to your web.config and specify the name here now. How? /home. Sorry, sir. /error. Controller name is error, right? Under the error controller, what is the method name? bad request. I'll change it. The second thing is unauthorized. Next, payment required. Next, forbidden. Forbidden. Not found. What is that? Method not allowed. Method not allowed. Don't forget to add the views. Add the views also. If you don't add the views, again it will go to which page? Error page. Why? 404 error will come. It will redirect you to not found. Not found page is not there. That is server error. Again it will show you error.cshtml. Now you add all the pages. Okay. Just for example, I'm showing you one page. I'll add your remaining. You add. I'll add it for not found here. I will add for. Yeah, you add all the pages. I'm just doing for the not found. Come to the controller. Add view. Write some content in the not found now. The requested page is either not available or moved to a different location, or it is under construction or maintenance. Something happened here. The page is not there. It moved to a different location, or it is under maintenance, or it is under construction. Anything can be the reason why the page did not come now. Got my point? Okay. Now all of you observe. I am calling home controller and I'm calling the show view. What I'm calling? Show view. When I call show view is existing or not? Action method is existing or not? But view is missing. Did you understand me? The view is missing. So let's say this is a server error. This is a server error. Show view 2. Action method itself is missing. So that is a client error. That is a client error. Page not found. Understood my point? Server errors are different. Client errors are different. How do you handle the server error? This will handle you the server error. Which line? That will handle the server error. And if you want to handle the client error, what you'll do? You can just give the different status code values and specify the action method that has to be called. Okay, so observe. Yeah, we stopped it here now. Where? Here. On the top of the divide we written, and on the top of the show view also, we have used the handle error. Read. For the above action method, we have not created any view. So if we try to call the action method from a browser, it will raise an error and redirects to a dot, because we have decorated the method with handle error attribute. We call it as decorating the method. We call it as decorating the method. Now, if we try to call any action method which is not existing in the application, then we get an on-screen error again without displaying error.cshtml with HTTP status code 401, because currently handle error attribute will handle only the errors with status code 5XX series, that is internal server errors or exceptions. Whereas if you want to handle client errors with their appropriate, do the following. Step 1, add a controller. What is the name? Now you write all the methods now. Bad request, unauthorized, payment required, forbidden, not found. Like this, write all the methods now. What next? Now under shared folder of use folder, add a view not found without choosing a layout, and write the below code under the div tag. Write this code. What is that? Page not found. The requested page is not available. Now step 3 is go to web.config and add all these things. Same as the above, we can add a separate error page for each. I shown you for not found. Like this, try to add for each and every status code is separate. Why? Same message for all may not be understandable to user. Understood my point here? Page is not found, you should tell page is not found only. Method is not allowed, you should say method is not allowed only. Payment is required means you should say payment is required. Unauthorized means you should say unauthorized. These all errors are client mistakes. Client mistakes should be handled by clients only. So tell to client correctly. Server errors, these are not client mistakes. Whose errors? Then there is no point of telling that information to client now. When a client cannot fix the error, what is the point of telling to the client now? Did you catch my point? That is why server errors, we show a generic message. Why? Client cannot fix it. But for client error, we show specific message. Okay, now? Well, now look, guys. You're handling an error, and to handle the error, you use the handle error attribute on the top of each method, right? Without writing on the top of each method, the second option what you have is write it on the top of the controller. So all action methods in this code will handle the errors now. Did you catch my point? Okay, I'm writing now handle error. Handle error, where? On the top of the controller. /home. Okay, divide nums. Error page. Got it? I'm calling show view. Method existing or not? View is not existing. Show view 1. Method itself is not existing. Understood me? Okay. I just wanted to call not error, home. Display customer. Display customer. Display customer 3. City is equals to Hyderabad. I'm just giving, okay, wrong value. City is equals to, it has taken up. No issue, anything, it will take off. So just suppose if it is expecting a integer value. It is expecting an integer value, but you guys are supplying a string value. It is expecting an integer value, but you guys are supplying a string value. Then again, error will come now. Understood my point? Okay, like this, in all these things, everything will be handled by the handle error attribute. Everything gets handled by the handle error attribute. Now I shown you action method level, controller level. Action method level, second option, only one action method. Second option, the whole controller. Tomorrow, if I have 10 controllers in my code, I require to write this on the top of all the 10 controllers now. To avoid that, global. To avoid that, we have a global option. Okay, yeah, read that. Handling errors, controller level. In the above case, to handle errors, we are applying handle error attribute for each action method. And without doing that, we can apply handle error attribute directly on the, so that it applies to all action methods under that controller. And to test that, delete handle error attribute we have used on HTTP post action method of divide nums and show view action method. Show view action method of, and then show view action method. Both the two places here. There also, here also. And then we can use it on controller class as following. Okay, now next. Globally. In the above approach, we are applying handler attribute on controller class, which must be done on every control in the project to handle the errors. It must be done on every class. To avoid this, we can apply filters globally to the whole application or project. And to do that, do the following. The whole application or the project, do the following. What you do? Actually, guys, now you need filter config. Remember two configs already, route config, bundle config. Yes or not? I said you are we have multiple configs. We'll discuss on them going forward. Now we have a third config called as filter config now. You're required to write a filter config now. Filter configuration should be done in the filter config. How? For this reason only, I taken a blank project. Yesterday, I taken a blank project and I said you, I'll tell you wait why I taken a blank project. This is why. Why if you take an MVC project, filter config is by default available there. Filter config is by default available. That's why I want to show you how to write the filter config. So that's why I'm creating the filter config manually. So better, what you do, add a code file in the project. Add a code file in the project. Name it as filterconfig.cs. Code file. What is the name? Filter config.cs. Guys, already we have route config here now. Now what we have? Filter config. So what you write? Same guys. Namespace MVC filters. Second, public class route config. Here, public class filter config. All that bundle config also same way we copy pasted. Remember now? Next one is the process route config. Then this you're required to go to global.asx now. And the global.asx you're required to call route config.register route. Same way, bundle config.register bundle. Same way, filter config dot register global filters. Just like route table dot routes, global filters dot filters. Understood? For bundle, what do that? Bundle table dot bundles. Bundle table dot bundles. Route table dot routes. Global filter dot filters. So this is the last step. Now again, you can run your code and see whether it is applying or not. I did not use on the top of the controller now. I did not use on the top of the action method also. In both the two places we don't have, but errors are getting handled. So once you write like this, your whole project is handling the errors now. Is the best, simplest option. 3 steps. First step. 2 steps only. First step, add a class where app start folder. What is the name? Filter config. And write the register filter method there. Register global filter. Second step, call it. If you open an MVC project, all this code is ready-made. If you open a MVC project, all this code is ready-made. Haven't you noticed every time in your MVC project, you're coming with a home controller? By default, 3 configs will come. What are the 3? Route config, bundle config, filter config. And all these 3 are registered in the global.asx file now. In that MVC, in MVC template, in MVC project, you get an error, automatically goes to error page. Error page is ready. Go and check it out. All are present or not. Our last example, DB examples in MVC project only, right? Oh, sorry. Not this. MVC with ADO, right? MVC with ADO. Check, guys. By default, there is a home controller, right? In this home controller, there is a 3 methods. Index, about, and if there is any error, it will go to the error.cshtml. Go and see in the shared folder, you'll find error.cshtml. Yes or not? Open the web.config. And in the web.config, It's not mentioned. Default is also true. That's why it's not mentioned. That's so it won't. No need because we are applying it global filters. It is applied as a global filter. So go to app start. See there, you have all the three configs: bundle config, filter config, and go to filter config and see the filter config. That only I shown you now. Now go to global.asx. Register global. See, all these three are registered. See, register routes, register bundle, register global filters. Are you getting my point or not? Understood all of you? So that's why whenever there is an error, it will jump to error.cshtml. It jumps to the error.cshtml. There is no client-side error handling code here. There is no client error handling code. Client error. What is present is only server error handling. If you want a client error handling, follow that. What is that? Custom errors, mode is equals to on, and then you write all the status codes 400, 401, 402, 403, add that. Then also client error handling will work now. Understood my point? Yes or not? Okay. So this is how you're just going to handle the errors. So all the things are mentioned for you over there. But why I take an empty project is to show you, all right, this is the process, this is the process, add everything manually. So guys, have a look. Step 1, read it. That is the code you're writing in the filter config.cs. Second step. Read the note. All the action methods, all the controllers gets handled. Everything is going to be handled in this case. Is it clearer or not? Okay. Guys, actually, I want to tell you one thing. Here, when you are writing in the web.config, when you are writing this information in web.config, what did you write here? Mode is equals to off, on, remote one. What is off? What is off? I'm writing off. Okay. Off. It doesn't work now. Second option. On. You already learned on. Yes or not? So what is off? Listen, tomorrow is the machine where the application hosted and the machine from where you're accessing the application are same. Did you understand the question? The machine where the application is hosted and the machine from where the application is consumed, are they same? Yes, sir. Today they are same. Today they are same only. But going forward, once we go to the real time, are they same? No. The machine where you host your application is different. The machine from where you are accessing the application will be different. Are you getting my point here? When I say the mode is off, when I say the mode is off, it will display the yellow screen, to whom? Local machine also, remote machine also. Local machine also, remote machine also. Right now, local, remote, both are same for us now. Yes or not? Going forward, I'm telling you, when I say off, means on the server machine also will get the yellow screen only, or from remote computer also will get yellow screen only. On. Both local machine, server machine. What is shown? Error page. Not yellow screen. What is shown? Third option. Remote only. What is remote only? For local machine, local machine means from where the developer is running, it will show you yellow screen. For end user, it will show you error page. This should be the correct option that should be used. This is the correct option that should be used. What is that? For a developer, yellow screen only correct here. Then only developer knows what is the problem. You will display error page for developer. No, developer should see the error. Who should not see? And so for remote computers, what will come, The error page will come. Local computer, you're in local computer or remote computer? Local computer. Because you're in local computer, what is it going to show you now? Yellow screen or error page? Divide nums. Yellow screen. But if you try connecting to a remote computer and access, what you will see, error page. Off. Both will see yellow screen. On. Both will see error page. Remote only. Local computer, yellow screen. Remote computer, error page. Got it? So the best option is always remote on. Use this option. That will be always a better option. Okay, now? Understood how to handle the errors in the code now? Two types of error. Client errors. For client errors, detailed message should be shown. Why? Client error. Client should know the error. Then only you can fix. Server error. Client cannot fix it. When a client cannot fix it, there is no point of showing a detailed reason for the user. So a generic page, error occurred. Understood or not? Okay. So this is our fifth filter. What is the fifth filter? Handle error. So today we learned about two filters. What is the first one? Anti-forgery token. Anti-forgery token. Second one? Handle error. The next two are authenticate filter and authorized filter. Remember. Authenticate and authorize, right? Yeah. Authorize and allow anonymous. Authorize, allow anonymous. These are the authorize and the allow anonymous. Guys, what is this authorize and allow anonymous? First thing, understand. Listen. For your application, from day one, we are able to open the application and anyone was able to run the application now. Array, you built an application here. Anyone can open the application and run now? Yes or not? But where is the security now? It is a banking website. It is a, can anyone open the application and use it? Who can open? Only a authenticated user. Then where is the login screen? Where is the login screen now? You need a login screen for authenticating a user now? Yes or not? Authentication is very, very important. So there should be a login screen for authenticating the appropriate user. But there is no login screen. Two things you should remember. Authentication, authorization. What is authentication? Already I said you in the last class. Authentication is the process of verifying or validating the credentials of a user to step into the application. To step into the authorization. It is a process of verifying whether the authenticated user have a permission to perform an action or not. Last day I given you an example. What? A manager and a clerk, both are having an access card. Both should swipe the card and come in. Means both are authenticated. Both are authenticated. Because both are authenticated, the clerk cannot come and sign on the company checkbook now. Who can sign on the company checkbook? Manager can sign, but not the clerk. Why? Manager is authorized. Clerk is not authorized. But both are understood. These are two different things. Authentication is different. Every authenticated user need not be authorized to perform an action. Yes or not? But every authorized user is already authenticated. The sequence, understand, first authentication. If a person is authorized to do something, means is already authenticated. The person is already authenticated. Is he authorized? No. You're authenticated but not authorized. You're authorized means you're already authenticated. Clearer or not? Basically, web applications will have 4 types of authentications. Web applications have, not like web applications, I should not say web applications. ASP.NET web applications have 4 types of authentications. I repeat, ASP.NET web applications have 4 types of authentication. 1, anonymous authentication. 2, Windows authentication. 3, forms authentication. 4, open authentication. What is the first one? Anonymous authentication. What is anonymous authentication? Anonymous authentication means no authentication. Anonymous authentication means, array, your application doesn't have any authentication now. From day one, we are running all our applications in anonymous authentication only. That is why everyone was able to access the application now. There is no credential verification. That is what we call anonymous authentication. Okay, if you want to see this, guys, remember, you cannot watch this particular behavior. You cannot watch this when you're running an IES Express, because in IES Express, authentication authorizations will not work. You're required to host it on local IES. Then only you can see all the things. Is my point clear? So observe, I'm closing this project. Let me open the studio in administrator mode. I'm opening the studio in administrator mode. And once after opening the studio in administrator mode, I will create a project here. I'll create a project. Oh, MVC project only. I just used. Okay. I'm not creating a new project, guys. Okay. First, let me demonstrate with your MVC project only, MVC filters only. But why I close the studio? To open in administrator mode. Because without opening in administrator mode, you cannot host an IES. Yes or not? So I'm opening in the administrator mode. Again, I open my MVC filters project only. Again, I open my MVC filters project. Can you help me hosting an IES? Come on. Speak louder, yaar. You're whispering in your mouth. How to host it on IES? Which properties? How to open? Tell that clearly. Tell me step by step everything. Why you're eating the words? Right click on project. Go to, be clear like that. Properties. Next. Web. Scroll down. Localize. Create virtual directory. And you already know this will not work if not opened in administrator mode. Next, save. It is save. Now open IS Manager. What is it? init mgr. Open the IS Manager. Expand this, expand this, expand the default website. You watch MVC filters is here. And right now your application is running in anonymous authentication. How, sir? How do I know that? Okay. Select here. Come here. On the right side, we have an option. What is that? Double click on it. It'll show you all the different authentication options. Watch it. Anonymous authentication is enabled. What is the meaning of it? The meaning is this application doesn't require any credentials. No credentials are required for this. Anyone can log in into the application without any issue. You can easily log in into this application without any issues. And that's what we're calling as anonymous authentication. Hope you guys are clear or not. What is that? Anonymous authentication. It's an anonymous authentication. That is what we are using in this context now. Hope you guys are clear. And basically for this anonymous authentication here, by default, IIS will have one built-in user account called as IUSR. IUSR. That user account will be used. How to see that? Just go to edit here on in the right hand side. You'll be finding an option called as edit. When you click on the edit, it'll show you. What is the user? This is a common default user account without a password. Without a password, everyone will use that account only by default. Got it or not? Okay, everyone will be using that particular account only. See there? Yeah. Just given you the complete details how to check all the things. IUSR. What's a project? MVC filters. That project only I hosted on IIS and I just show. Right click on the anonymous and select edit. That is IUSR. This is a default account what it uses. And we call it as a, read the description. IIS uses anonymous authentication for every application. Default is anonymous authentication. Understood or not? To test this, go to connections panel, server name. You already know all these things. Expanded. Sites. Two things we find now. Connection pools. Sites. Sorry. Application pools. Site. I already explained the application pools to you. Sites also you learned. Expanded. We find a node. What is that? Expanded. MVC filters. Because it hosts an IIS from a Visual Studio by creating a. Select it, and then in the right hand side we find authentication icon. Click on it, which displays the various authentication modes available. Under that we see anonymous authentication is enabled. Right click on the anonymous authentication and select edit, which displays the user account IUSR, which is used for anonymous authentication as below. Point clearer, all of you? What is the second mode? Windows. What is that? This Windows authentication is as the same as the Windows authentication in your SQL server. You know that SQL server has two different authentication modes now. What are the two? One is SQL. What is Windows authentication? What is that? No need you already password. What is that answer here? What your teacher said here? No need you already password. Windows authentication means it is using the operating system user accounts. That is what you should tell. Not no need you already password. It is using operating system user accounts. Already, before you open SQL server, you log in into your operating system or not? Means already you supplied the already password to the system now. Understood my point? I logged in my computer now with my user account and I given my password also. So with these details, I'm logged in into my computer. I logged into my computer. Because I logged into my computer, what happens with the same credentials? It is connecting to SQL server also. Understood? That is why it won't ask you for user ID and password, because already I have supplied them when I log in into my OS. That is why not required to log in separately into my SQL server. That's called as Windows authentication. Second option, What is SQL authentication? In this case, user accounts are created under SQL server and maintained by SQL server. Created under SQL server, maintained by. So whenever you log into the SQL server, it will ask you, tell me your username and password. Every time you log in, it will authenticate. Windows authentication, guys. Windows authentication will work only within the organization. Windows authentication will work only within the organization. Within the organization network only it will work. My server is in US and I want to connect from India and we both are not in the same network now. Then Windows authentication will not work. It is suitable only for intranet. Only for, intranet na? What is intranet? Within the organization, internet, global, intra, local, means within your LAN. LAN is a intranet. Understood my point here? Because if I create a user account in my local area network, how can this user account accessed in US, man? Possible, eh? Where it works only intranet, within the organization, within the organizational network. Will not work outside. Will not work outside. Outside, it doesn't work. Hope you guys are clearer, all of you. Understood my point? But SQL authentication works global. Anywhere you can be using the global authentication. Same Windows authentication is available in the web applications also. But now also I'm telling you, this is not suitable if your application works in internet. It is suitable only if the application works within your organization. I have an organizational portal. This portal is accessible only to the employees of the organization. For what, sir? For the information, to display the information to the user. You are a employee of the organization. You want to apply a leave. You are required to tell to other company people, that is only within your organization now. Yes or not? In your office, there are some recruitments that are only to the employees of the organization. There is a referral interviews. There are some referral interviews. Referral interviews should be exposed only to you now, not for general public. Understood? There is a tomorrow, it's a company annual day function. The next month, the company annual day function. And now the company is organizing some sports now. And that information has to be given to all the employees within the organization. So this is what we call intranet. Within the organization only, I want to share something. So they have a site now, and the site works only within the organization. Then it is okay, Windows authentication. But mine is a site which is going to be accessible to the globally everyone now. So I cannot use Windows authentication. Is my point clear? Database also same story. Web application also same story. What's it? Within the organization only, Windows authentication can be used. Suitable only for intranet based applications, not suitable for internet based applications. Are you clear? I'll show you how it works. I don't require to show you anonymous authentication. Why? From day one, you are using anonymous authentication only. What you need to see now is Windows authentication. I'll show you how to run a Windows authentication. Third option, Forms authentication. What is Forms authentication? 99% of the applications in the real time run in the Forms authentication only. What is that, sir? There will be a registration page. You register. Then there will be a login page. You log in. How do you work with Facebook, guys? First, you're required to register under the Facebook now. Now, every day you should log in into the Facebook now. Gmail, okay? And a banking site, everywhere. What is that? Is Forms authentication only. 99% of the applications run in Forms authentication. If there is an authentication, that should be Forms authentication. Fourth one, you very well know this. Open authentication. What is open authentication? Logging into the site by using either Google or Facebook or Twitter or Microsoft accounts is called as open authentication. So many sites you have this option, see. You want to order some food in Swiggy. You don't have an account. You don't have a account. Creating an account, all this is waste of time. It'll ask you, what does it ask you? Do you want to log in with your Google account? Select the Google account and log in. Do you want to log in with your Facebook account? Yeah. This is called as open authentication. Basically, we have 4 different providers for open authentication. Maximum 2 only used, but 4 are there. What are the 4? Google, Facebook. You saw all these 2 every time now? Microsoft also provides you. Twitter also provides you. 4 providers are there. But maximum everyone uses what? Either Google or Facebook. But Windows is also there. Sorry, Microsoft is also there. As well as Twitter is also there. Understood? That is what we call as open authentication. Okay. Guys, listen. Anonymous authentication. Nothing to explain you because from day one we are working on. And I proven you right now. That is anonymous authentication. Okay now? Now let me show you Windows and Forms. Windows and Forms. Open authentication I'll show you in MVC Core. Open authentication I'll show you in the Core. There I said you will develop our application like a mini project. When I develop the application as a project, I will include you Forms authentication also there, Facebook authentication also there, Google authentication also there. All 3 authentications I'll include in the project for you. Got the point? So we'll see there. Because you're required to do a lot of configurations on the Facebook site and on the Google site. We'll see there. I'm ignoring it here. Here I'll teach you Windows, Forms. Windows means you don't require to do anything specially, guys. After just your application hosted on IIS, come here. Simply, anonymous authentication is there now. Right click. That's all. Disable that, enable this. Your application runs in the Windows authentication. Is it clear? Okay. Yeah. Read what is Windows authentication, guys. Corporate network. Understand? Corporate network means within the organization only. That is using Microsoft Active Directory Service Domain identities or other Windows accounts. What is it? Generally, all of you, in your colleges, if you are using LAN, in your college, if you have so many systems and if you have LAN, the LAN will be controlled by a administrator now. A LAN server will be there and a system administrator. Tomorrow, you join in a company. You join in a company and the company has a desktop. A desktop, all of you are given with the desktops now. And every day you should log in into the computer now. Yes or not? What the system administrator will do? The system administrator will create a user account for every user with your name. With your name. Are you clear? And a password, which will be resetting regularly. When I go to my office, I need to log in with my credentials into my computer first. Got my point or not? So first this user account should be created. Where do they create? To do that, they use this Microsoft Active Directory Service. Microsoft Active Directory Service. The user accounts are going to be created for you over there. Are you getting my point or not? Without using this, you can even create user accounts directly on the local computer also. How? You'll find an option called computer management on your computer. Go there. Local users and groups. These are the user accounts what I have in my computer now. And every day I'm logging into my computer by using the user account NIT. That is my user account what I'm using. You can see it here. NIT is my user account with what I logged in. Is it clear? Okay. So basically, this Active Directory service is more secured for creating, and local machines also we can just create the accounts. Okay, now? So by default, my computer has two accounts here. One is the admin account and one is, and I am logging by using the NIT account. Another faculty will come now and will log in admin account. Same computer used by different people now. Everyone has their own account. Are you getting me? I do my customizations. And all my customizations will apply when I log in with my account. If another user comes and log in with his account, his customizations will come automatically. Got it? You are using Visual Studio now. You can log in into Visual Studio. Do you know that? You can create a Microsoft account. You can create a Microsoft account. Portal.azure.com. There is a website called Portal. Go there and you create a Microsoft account. Global, anyone can create an account. That's free. Okay. Later, in the Visual Studio, you can log in into the Visual Studio by using your account. Are you getting my point here? Now, after logging into Visual Studio to my account, I have set some settings to my Visual Studio. I set my theme for my studio, font size. My font size is bigger in the classroom. The font size all are bigger. I apply all the settings now. Every day, I may teach my class in 3 or 4 classrooms, different classrooms I teach. Are you getting me? But everywhere I go, all my settings will automatically apply there. How, sir? I log in into my Visual Studio. I have set all my settings now. Tomorrow I'll go to another classroom. There I log in with my user account. All my global settings will apply. Did you catch my point or not? Microsoft is going to save all the details now. And these settings will apply everywhere. Suppose in my office, if I log in with my credentials into my office Visual Studio, my settings will apply there. Are you getting my point here? Yes or not? But in office, we have our own office accounts. Company domain accounts. We log in with them. If that domain account, if I use here and log in into Visual Studio, my office settings will come here now. Globally, they are all reflected. And to do that, they completely use this particular Active Directory service. And with this, globally, the changes will be reflected to all these particular people. Understood my point? Okay. Yeah. Next. Corporate network that is using Microsoft Active Directory service domain identities are other to identify users. Windows authentication is a secure form of authentication because the username and password are hashed before being sent across it is secured across the network. That's all. When we enable Windows authentication, the client browser sends a strongly hashed version of the password in a cryptographic exchange to the web server. This authentication mode is best suitable for intranet applications only. I should mention there that is applications only. It's not suitable for internet. It is suitable only for intranet applications. Is it clear? Okay. So what to do? I'll show you practically in the next session, guys. But just what to do is create a project. It is created on anonymous authentication. Open the IIS manager. Open the IIS manager. Come to authentication. Disable. That's all. Windows authentication is active now. Windows authentication is active for my application. It is compulsory, requires a credentials to access the application. What credentials? Your Windows credentials only will be used for it. I'll show you practically how it works. And then I'll show you forms authentication. Okay, let's stop here, guys.